Writing this test that I'm really confident about, and I know that I will get a good grade despite the fact that I wasn't even learning for it. I didn't even study for the test, and I knew somewhere deep in myself that I would score high. You know what I scored? I scored the best out of the class despite not even learning. I scored even higher than the nerds who learned for it for hours because I knew what I was doing and I had the method to learn how to teach myself effectively and efficiently without having to waste time studying inefficiently and just wasting my time and life away. Who am I? I'm Martin. I have never gotten a worse grade than a B on the final grades that you get at the end of the year. I have never gotten a worse grade than a B, which means that in my country I get this honors thing where you have completed the year with honors. I've got that every single year. But what I have achieved is that way before I knew all the stuff that I'm going to tell you on how to save time from studying for hours upon hours every day, I was studying quite a lot, you know, and my grades were, high too, but the input that I had to give in, it was way too high for me. So I honestly just tried to search on the internet on how can I just be more efficient in studying, because I feel like most of the time the studying wasn't really that efficient. What I was doing is that I would read the notes that I would take in class and read them and read them and read them, and I felt like it was getting me nowhere. And yeah, of course I still scored high, but at what cost? I had to learn for like 5 hours for one test. That wasn't really a good trade, because now I can just learn maybe for like half an hour and I'll get an A. So what I did, I searched the whole internet and found like a few methods that I've tried out, and ever since then I've lowered my time that I put in for school while keeping the grades quite high. It may have went slightly down. So now instead of getting like A plus, I get A minus. But I will still take that. I will still take the occasional B's, and I don't have to have the perfect, grades. That's not my goal. I just want to have good enough grades so that my parents are happy and that I can like get stuff with my school, success, some opportunities, but I don't need to be the nerd who has the perfect score. So yeah, even though my grades are not perfect, okay, I'm not the guy who is going to tell you how to get perfect grades all the time, but I'm going to tell you how you can improve the leverage that you have over the time that you spend compared to what grades you are getting. So if you want to optimize it, this is what I've done. I have, obviously, if you are not going to really take action on this, no, nothing is going to help you, man, honestly. So please listen and actually do what I'm about to say, otherwise this video is pointless for you and you can just turn it off right now. So listen up. I know this sounds really basic, but I've started to pay attention in class, man. Now, of course, you're going to say, Martin, what are you talking about? It's such a basic advice. I know, but listen, the more focus that you put in the class, that you have to be there, the less time you have to spend at home trying to finish the studying. So each way you will have to be in that class, so you might as well use that time efficiently and actually use it to learn, bro. I know this sounds crazy, but trust me, try harder in school, in class specifically. Now, you need to take notes by hands. So if you're right now taking it by writing in a laptop, cool. Stop doing that. Take your paper and start writing it by hand. There is a reason, scientific reason for that. It's backed up by science that you get like better neuron connection when you do it by hand. I'm not really a scientist, so I cannot tell you, but it works. It really does. Now that you started taking notes by hand, you actually need to convert them to the digital notes. For example, something like Word on a Notes app. So yes, you need both physical and like electronic digital notes. This way, it's like another great bonus when you don't have to take your notes everywhere, physical notes, I mean, and you can just learn anywhere that you want. It's like a quick bonus. It's not the main, studying tip, but it's just a nice thing to have. And also, if you ever lose the physical notes, you still have the digital one. So that's another bonus. Two bonus or three bonuses in one. The third one is that you can convert those into questions. Now, probably right now, the way that you are studying is by actually taking your notes and just rereading them, relearning them. You cannot do that. That's not efficient. It's not really even efficient to just passively listen to the lecture. Of course, obviously, you will still have to attend those lectures. But the best and the most efficient way that we are going to start learning is by self testing. Like, when you are getting tested in school, you write the test, you have been probably learning for that test, and then you give it to the teacher, and the teacher gives it back to you in like few weeks or even months at some point. And that feedback loop is quite enormous, man. When you write the test and get it back, in the meantime, you will forget everything that you've written down. So there is no point in like you will not learn by writing tests. You need to be already knowledgeable before you get to the tests. But we can exploit this. We can do the same thing by writing the tests and getting the feedback loop instantly. That is the best way to learn. It's even backed by science. The best way is to do self-testing. So that means that you will take the digital notes, throw it into AI, say, hey, ChatGPT, create like a list of questions based on this topic of these notes, and under each question, create an answer to the question. Now you're going to take that list, you're going to read the question, answer it, compare the answers, and you're going to do this again and again and again. It is way more efficient than just reading the notes, and it is going to get you so much higher scores. Now, of course, you need to do this like consistently. You cannot do this once in a blue moon. So, there are two actual situations when you can apply this. The first one is when you don't really know when the test is coming. That's not really a great situation to be in. That means you will have to do it every day. The self testing needs to go on all the time. The great thing is you don't need to do it for hours upon hours. You just need to complete it, and the tests take like 5 minutes at max. So you do a few tests every day, like for 20 minutes, and you're golden. Your studying is done like that, like this, by a snap of a finger. The second, the better situation to actually be in is to know when the test is coming. When you know when the tests are going to be there, that's great because you can take few days before the test and you can start the self-testing the few days before it. So you do it again and again, and you already will be quite prepared for the test without having to stress too much in the meantime. So that is going to free up so much more, even more space than the first situation. Now, of course, you cannot really know which situation you are. It depends on your teachers, but I am currently in the second situation, and it's awesome, man. It's awesome when you know when the tests are coming because you can actually prepare for it and you don't have to waste more time than is necessary. Now, obviously, every school has it differently, but in my school, we write tests on the latest subject, which It's quite obvious. So I only learn for the latest subject or what the teacher says that's going to be on the test. Now, if you actually want to improve even more and you want to get your more of your time saved, I've prepared a course just for you. The link is in the description, so check it out. Now, obviously, you might ask, why do I even need to save this time from studying? Well, for me, like honestly, just having school, only school in life, is quite a fail. I think that everyone, like especially students, should have life outside of schools. Now I know it can be training, but life can be so beautiful, and when you have only school, it becomes so dull. You become so bored of life when you could be out there spending your time on stuff that you actually care about. Because don't tell me you actually care about some subjects like chemistry, bro. You don't care at all. You have to finish it because it's in the syllabus. You have to get a good grade because of your parents. That's okay, man. You still can get good grades while studying a lot less. Now, I have prepared like this course where I have made few videos that are exactly on this topic and are actionable and are going to help you progress towards this fictional goal of trying to study less and get good grades, because it's real and I'm the living proof. My parents ask me all the time, when are you studying, Martin? We don't ever see you that you actually pick up a book and start studying, but you still have these amazing grades. Well, that's basically what I've achieved. If you want that too, go to the link in the description and check it out.